why in a country like ours would we have so much poverty? It made absolutely no sense to me. When there's all this spare and there's all this need, why don't I just build the technology and logistics and match the two up? It just makes sense. The clothing, the toys, the homewares, the household goods, it creates equality. I think people think when they go and work for a charity that it's going to be easy. They think, oh, I'm going to go and work for a charity, that'll be an easy job. But I think people are so different working at a charity. They work harder, they work smarter, they're more passionate. I've never worked with people who are smarter and more passionate than I do with the team that I work with now. And I think that's the difference. So, you might work for another company, but you're not invested. But for the people at Good 360, it's like they own, Good 360 owns them, they own Good 360. It's like they're so passionate about it. And we talk about, like, once you come to Good 360, it's like you've caught a virus, and even when you hear about Good 360, you can't unhear it. I don't ask anything of them, they ask it of themselves. And they're just the most amazing bunch of people. And I was going to say I probably work for, because they just live and breathe the business.
How did you, find the first few people to join Good 360?
I think they found me. I think they were aligned to the cause. People are probably looking for that transition, looking for something to do that's good, and they find out about Good 360, and then it's like we started to build a crew, and then people join us. Often people volunteered and then they ended up with a job because, again, they caught the virus. It's that sort of like they come for a little while and then they stayed.
Okay.
And then we've been very carefully recruiting since then. And, even our interview style is probably quite unique, that when we interview, we do multiple interviews with many people in the team interviewing the one person to make sure that they're going to fit the team, rather than me interview the person. It's the team members interview the new recruit to make sure that they're going to blend with the team, because we're very careful about culture and that person's potentially going to catch the virus.
You want a good host for the virus.
And like when we're interviewing them, you can see them thinking, oh my goodness, what sort of psychos are these people? But it is about, are you going to love the business as much as we love it? Are you going to be passionate about it? Or is it just a job for you? Like, I think when I was in the corporate world, I never understood any of what I understand now. So I think I was ticking the boxes and going through the processes. And it's only maybe as I've got older that I've reflected and learnt more about myself, because the old me I probably wouldn't have liked. Whereas this me, I'm like, oh, I'm having so much more fun now. But I didn't know the difference back then. And many of us probably never did in corporate life because we just didn't know that there was a difference. I don't think I would have liked working with me in corporate life. Now that I've had the opportunity to work with this me.
Like, this me is so much more fun.
Yeah.
Why didn't I do this before?
Yeah, and I just think this me is so much more respectful and so much more balanced, and this me is so much older too.
Do you think that's the difference of why, you changed over the years and your values changed?
I just think life matures you and you get an opportunity to do that. But, if somebody had to come along and give me maybe more career coaching or business coaching or something with young me, I could have been moulded, but those opportunities were never there for young me. You know what I mean? Corporate life was just more do this, you're just in a rat race. But this generation has a lot more access to that, whereas we never have access to that back then. So hopefully people who are on the same career path as me may get access to being kinder. Like, that's one of our values. We didn't have values and culture and all those sorts of terminology available to me. They were not language that was ever used in my corporate life in my 20s and 30s. I probably would have been a much better person, a much better manager if, we had have had chances to reflect on all of those things. But we were just so busy doing the doing.
What are some of your values now?
So our values is kindness. And I think you can't underrate kindness, because if in every interaction you go in with kindness, it makes you think how you behave when you're making a deal, a partnership. Every interaction is done with kindness. It makes it easier if you're having to have uncomfortable conversations, is the way we look at that. And sometimes in business, it's not always easy. But if you always do it with kindness, it makes it so much easier. So every interaction with a staff member, a business partner, etc., you always reflect differently. And I think that would be really helpful in corporate world if one of their values was actually kindness. So that's our first value. Collaboration is another one of our values. So we say we collaborate and we never replicate. And I think that's always really, really interesting because in the charity world, you know, you can have lots of charities who do very similar things and we refuse to do that. So we will always collaborate rather than replicate. So we'll go in and partner on something rather than ever compete or replicate. And I think that's really unusual and it takes people by surprise. But I'm always there to be your friend and we're going to collaborate rather than ever compete on something or replicate. Innovation, which is very strong in what we do around the technology and efficiencies, etc. So, and that talks about our, you know, tech startup type mentality and scale and things like that. And then the last one is integrity. We will always have integrity in everything that we do. And that means that there's always trust. My parents always did charity work when I was a child and I was always so annoyed by that.
Right.
And I don't know why I was annoyed by that, but we were always sort of like the house where the the halfway home for everybody to come and be at. And all my friends would be at my house before I would come home. And, you know, everybody loved my parents and everybody would stop my parents in the street and talk to them. They were like the youth workers. And, you know, and I just thought it was so annoying that my parents were always the do-gooders and da-da-da. And I just couldn't figure that out. And I just found it highly annoying. And I went off and did my corporate world and, you know, went off to be really successful and everything. And then the journalist was interviewing me and then she said to me, "But now you're a charity do-gooder. What do your kids think about that?" And I went, "Oh my God, my kids hate it." And my kids hate my charity
The 360 cycle, it's come around now. Did you ask them ever what they think?
Well, my parents died when I was quite young, so they never got to see me be the charity do-gooder.
Yeah. And what about your kids? Did you ask your kids?
They were really annoyed about me.
Really? Wow.
And I just
okay.
laugh and I go, "It'll happen to you."
One day they'll grow up, go through the corporate world, and then become like a charity organization.
And I know, like, as they're maturing now, they are quite proud of me. So I can't say that they are annoyed, but they sort of wonder why I wouldn't be more materialistic. I have the ability to do more, and like I did have the corporate career and all the materialistic things, which is, you know, doesn't matter. But they sort of wonder, why would I give all that up and do this? That I explain to them, because I can do more. Like, we've got a fine life, and I can get people into a better life as well, and that's my skill, to do that for more people rather than just worry about us having a fine life. But I just thought it was quite funny that, you know, I was so annoyed by my parents being do-gooders all the time. Like, I wasn't annoyed, but I just thought, God, you know, why are they always doing that? You know, pay attention to me, not to all these other kids, you know.
Wow.
And then I realised it's full circle.
Yeah, I know.
And I never meant it to be. It just happened.
Yeah.
So, but my point to that is that I think if you subliminally are raised by good people and good things go on around you, and this is what I talk about, the mentors and, you know, having good people as role models. My parents were fantastic role models. They always gave more of themselves than for themselves. So I always seen that they always, no matter what, you know, they weren't wealthy people or anything, but they would always give their last whatever to somebody else. And I think that was what was role model to me, was that you could always do more for somebody else. Like, don't think about yourself, think about others. And I think that role model was the perfect upbringing for me. It was that, you know, that's probably why I'm so angry that there's all of this when somebody else should have that. Because that's what my parents were doing all my childhood, and I never realised that. So they were my role models. It's a democracy, because I just think, you know, we have to get people to thrive and to be entrepreneurs. What we should be doing is try to get people to be more generous. And you can see that movement now happening in the world with the 1% pledge. So if we capped that and said, oh, everybody could only earn this much, we would have people who have the ability to earn billions not be able to give that wealth and transfer that wealth to the poverty. So we have got some very, very generous billionaires transferring their wealth to solve malaria and some other disease. If you look at the Buffetts, etc., they're moving their wealth to try and solve worldwide problems that government can't. So, you know, there has to be that entrepreneurial spirit. You know, governments are failing where some very wealthy people can come in and do better. And I just don't think, you know, that's like a communist state. So you can only go earn this much and then, you know, cap it out. The optimist, having a better world where people would actually, if you have more, share it with people who don't. Some will, some won't.
Hey guys, thanks for hanging with us on the Convo Couch, and thank you to Alison for coming on today.
Great, thanks so much for having me.
Don't forget to check out the links to the Good 360 website, and don't forget to subscribe below too. See you next time.
Hi, my name is Alison Covington and I'm the founder and managing director of Good 360. Good 360 is a really interesting concept. We're a matchmaker and we connect the surplus of businesses' brand new goods to Australians who need them most. These brand new goods are goods from businesses like Big W, L'Oreal, Lush and Lego. They're end of season's goods, and we have a website here in Australia where charities, 1,300 charities and eligible schools can sign on to access these goods. They log on and we ship them directly to their door. We've shipped millions of dollars of these goods and millions of items to Australians who need them most. We've been operating for 4 years and we're really passionate about letting people know that there's more than food waste happening in Australia, that there's toys, beauty, clothing, homewares, small electricals that we're matching up and helping Australians all across the country. So if you're interested to help us out, please go to our website that is down here and hear more about the good work that we're doing. We're passionate about getting the work out across Australia, so we'd love you to come and visit us. Thanks.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out this episode in a series where we interview business leaders, tech innovators, and startup founders about their business journey, insights, and reflections. If you find value in this, please leave us a comment below, and also like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Enjoy!